Survival mode, that looked great. I got to talk to you about this, though. There's class-based going on here. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that makes it so interesting and so compelling is that you do have this class-based system. And so it really becomes about how are we going to team up? So how are you going to spread those classes around the team and really work together to use those unique abilities that each class has in order to try to survive those 10 waves that the locusts are launching at you. And that really is where the mode really gets interesting. It kind of borrows that stuff from Overrun. It just adds that deep strategy that Gears hasn't had before. And by introducing those classes, we've introduced a lot of strategy in there as well.
Tell me about some of your favorite memories as you guys were playtesting this.
Oh, lots of good memories, especially when you're playtesting against QA, because those guys are ridiculous. But testing different strategies, I think, are some of the most the fondest memories we have of, hey, let's load up on engineers and let's see what we can do to just keep the fortifications repaired and maybe have a medic or two to heal us, or hey, let's go in with the heavy guys and left and right, center. It's all about how you're combining your classes and how you're defending the different routes, and there's lots of great memories surrounding that.
Now, Chris, we're watching the Twitter feed here in the studio on the Gears Judgment hashtag. There's been some questions about taking the Horde mode of 50 and then dropping it down to 10 for survival mode. Tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. So Horde was really about a marathon.
Right.
And one of the big themes for us in Judgment is around intensity, around making your palms sweat, about making your knuckles turn white because you're squeezing that controller. And so when we really focused in on survival, we really wanted to bring that intensity into the mode as well. And so you get, it might last about an hour, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on how well you do, but it is a crazy hour. I mean, you're just constantly, you really are squeezing that controller. Are we gonna make it, are we gonna make it? There's two guys left, we're almost done. And just that intensity, that sort of, what you kind of get nervous in your belly, right?
Sure.
That kind of butterflies in your stomach that don't happen in a lot of other modes. And that's something we really wanted to bring, and I think that's why you see, the mode tuned the way it was, because that's what we were going after.
Let's get back to the questions on Twitter using the Gears Judgment hashtag. We've seen survival. Now we're going to go to the questions. Let's bring up the first question right here in the studio. Will there be a season pass? It's always a great value. Can't wait to see kill some locust scum. Look forward to it, guys. You kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, but why don't you go ahead and revisit it?
Kill the locust scum. I like it. Destroy them. So our DLC plans will have 6 maps that we talked about that we'll release, plus 2 new modes. The season pass gives you a discount on that. I don't know the exact points here off the top of my head. But then you also get all that extra stuff that we talked about. You get early access to all the content before anyone else gets it. You get the double XP.
Double XP.
And playing the VIP playlist all the time, which is awesome.
Yep.
And then you get the skins and the characters that no one else is going to get as well. So our season pass, we really tried to take it to the next level. We really tried to up that value to our fans and try to give them a lot of what they wanted.
All right, back to Twitter using the hashtag Gears Judgment. Next question up: will the mature filters, gore, and language be returning? It was a great option to have in Gears.
Yeah, they're all in there. Yep. So absolutely, they'll be back for you.
So that's people that don't really prefer the blood and whatnot. They can kind of dial it back a little bit.
Exactly.
I kind of use that in multiplayer. I dial it because I can turn it off. That way, it's not on the lens. That's my pro tip. All right, let's go to the next question on Twitter. Gears Judgment. There you go. Is there a good game for new players to join the Gears of War universe? Or do you recommend playing the previous games? Because there's a lot of games. This is now the 4th game. So tell us where you should we start at the beginning, or tell us about that?
This is a great place to start. So you don't have to worry about, in Gears 1, 2, and 3, like starting in Gears 2, you don't know what happened. You don't have that. This is a standalone story. You don't need the background of what happened in the original trilogy. And then we have all this additional stuff. We talked about Aftermath, which actually takes place during Gears of War 3. It's a slice of what the Gears 3 campaign was like. So you get the Judgment campaign, you unlock Aftermath, and then you get to play a little bit of Gears 3. And then on those initial shipments of the game, we have a code to download Gears of War 1 digitally. For free.
So wait a minute. So when you buy the game, you're going to get basically Gears of 1 free to download.
Yeah, that's right. And so you get Judgment, you get 1, you get a slice of 3, you get like that whole stretch of what we've done in the franchise, which I think is awesome.
Lots of Gears. All right, back to Twitter. Hashtag Gears Judgment. Fire them our way. We will try to answer them. In your opinion, is Gears of War Judgment more difficult than the previous games?
No, I wouldn't say it's more difficult. It's definitely there's definitely a sense of urgency and intensity that you haven't seen before in a Gears of War title. I mean, going back before Gears of War 1 to when the Locust invasion is fresh and new, and that people are still trying to react to it, brings a sense of intensity and urgency that you haven't seen before.
I do think it's more strategic as well. Just based on the smart spawn system and having to look to see how you're going to get through there. You do have to be a little bit more strategic than maybe you were in the past.
All right, let's go to another question on Twitter. Let's bring this one up. Is there going to be an awesome girl character to play? Green Fairy LV. Let's see. Green Fairy would like.
I'm guessing. Yes. Sophia Hendrick is a brand new character. She's a young rookie in the COG military. She's part of Kilo Squad, and so she makes an appearance in the game. One of my favorites is Alex Brand. He's a comic book character, and if you go pre-order the game at the Microsoft Store, you get her as part of that incentive. And so 2 really cool female characters right there. And of course, we have Anya returning as an incentive as well. So
there you go. All right, now we still have one more gameplay showcase to highlight. So this time we're going to take a look at the declassified missions. Guys, let's bring that up on the studio in studio for folks at home. Tell us about the declassified missions and what that means.
Yeah, so declassification system is a completely new system specific to the primary campaign of Gears of War Judgment. It's an optional system. So what you saw was that crimson omen on the wall indicating it's available to you, and there's 40 plus of these available to you
throughout the campaign.
Throughout the primary campaign.
Okay.
And these declassifications do 3 things. One is they change the rule set. So what you're seeing right here is that reduced visibility and the enemies are meleeing you.
They are rushing right in on
because this player's opted into it. The second thing that it does is it increases challenge, and so you see the star system on the top left where it's counting up your kind of performance. Well, if you opt into the declassification system, it gives you a star multiplier, so you earn more stars, which in turn means you get a whole bunch of additional content. You unlock additional content that way. And the last thing that it really does is it changes the way that the story is told. And the idea that Keyless Squad is being judged through a tribunal, well, the declassification system will change the story. If you don't opt into it, you'll just hear the normal testimony. But if you opt into it, you're going to hear a change in the testimony, a change in the VO about, hey, this is what really happened during that period.
And you mentioned something interesting there, is that Barrett's giving his testimony, and you're actually playing that out as the story progresses, right?
Exactly. As you play through and as you're giving your testimony, you get to play as the different characters giving their testimony. So you're going to hear the judge say, hey, we asked you to do this thing, and you went off, but it went horribly wrong. Recount to me exactly what you did and why.
Now, I want to get back to the declassified missions here. Tell us about some of the different variables. We're seeing, obviously, there's a fog here, kind of like we have in the studio, and some short-range weapons, but what are some of the other variables that players are going to encounter in the game?
yeah, you'll see these environmental effects like fog or smoke. Some of them limit the weapons that you have available to you that you have to use to get through the mission. We have time-based ones, so having to get through it in a certain amount of time. We might throw a different set of enemies at you, like an additional set of a certain type of enemy. They really do change the game quite a bit. And what's great, like Alan said, they're optional. You can try it with it, and then with our system, we have a really easy way to go back and just replay a chapter. So maybe you can go try it without it. Maybe you thought you just want to see how it goes without it.
Now, you guys have played them all. I want to ask you each one. What's your favorites, Alan?
The timer-based ones are a lot of fun because there's already this sense of intensity and urgency, and it's just amplified.
Right.
When you know that the smart spawn system is trying to adjust to you, and now you have a timer restriction on top of that, it's really intense.
All right, there you go. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, actually, the one we're watching is one of my favorites. You get this dusty room, and it's really hard to see. And so it changes the way you play the game, especially the way I play the game. I tend to be a little bit more further back, and I like to shoot the guys. And now all of a sudden I can't see, and they're right in my face.
They're rushing at you.
Yeah, I have to change the way I play the game, which is great.
Now, what happens if I don't want to opt into this? You just keep going. How does that impact?
Yeah, you'll still get the main story, and you're still going to play through. You're just not going to get that additional challenge, and you're not going to get that a little bit of additional storytelling to kind of help flesh out the full thing for you.
Sounds great. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on Xbox Live for this world premiere live event. I know it's been a whirlwind tour for both of you. Any final comments for the fans?
Excited to get the game out on March 19th. I want to get on. I want to play. Overrun for me is just so exciting, so I want to get on there and play with a bunch of fans and see how it goes.
Yeah, I can't wait to see everybody online on March 19th.
Oh, we're looking forward to that. Before we go, though, there's just a matter of our Twitter giveaway, including several copies of the game and, of course, the custom Gears of War Judgment console. This console isn't being sold at any store, and there are only a handful of these in existence. You guys know that, right?
We're not even getting one.
Now, the selected winners have been finalized. Congratulations to Twitter HawkPride88, Michael Trapani, and thank you everyone else. Keep your eyes out for a direct message on Twitter to see if you won a copy of the game. It's been incredibly exciting to bring all the Gears of War Judgment news directly to the Xbox Live community with tonight's show. If you tuned in late, don't worry. We will be offering a video-on-demand version of the show in just a few minutes. We'll also be debuting a special behind-the-scenes look at Domination, the brand new multiplayer mode exclusively on Xbox Live. We'll leave you now with another look at our world premiere for Aftermath. I'm Larry Herb, Xbox Live's Major Nelson. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Judgment on March 19th.